Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the final week of the campaign. What is it now? Season 23, week 10. So, of course, with that being said, yeah, we need to go unlock the, well, we have the summer event 2 starting up. Covered video and everything on all the teams for everything throughout the week. We have so many things happening this week. But, one of the main ones tonight, it is the end of the campaign. And with that being said, of course, we have the new Mythic coming out. Its trait setup makes it seem like it's really good, and then you see its actual ability, and then it's like, oh no. But it's submerged when it takes damage and has 50% spell reduction. This is really good spell resistance down the line. We'll also be able to create a blue submerged gem every single turn. Biggest issue is the ability is just really average. Deals a bunch of damage to 4 random enemies, boosted by submerged gems, and there's a 50% chance to jumble the board. And that is unfortunately all it gets to do. We will be messing around with it a little bit though. So we'll go and unlock it soon after we go clear out all the other dailies. Or whatever we gotta go do. Whatever we need to go do today. Kill enemies, kill blue enemies, get gold. Okay, so basically just kill billion things. I see. Alright. First things first. Of course, we do have the summer event going on. Actually, might as well start with that just to get it out of the way, just so we don't forget it, as it is a daily. And of course, we got Guild Wars. Guild Wars is starting in 2 days. Or 3 days. 2 days you gotta set your defend on Wednesday. Thursday is when the event itself actually starts. And right now is just a choosing period of what keep your guild ends up wanting. Which of course we're going for the green one. I don't know, this seems like the overall best path. Blue one does have a little bit of a better effect. But the kind of teams you can set up for green just seems so much better. And yeah, it's around the corner. Set your defend in 1 day. Or 1 day, 6 hours. And do the actual battle starting on Thursday. Anyways, where are we going? Let's go do the red battles first. And then we'll go do the raid battles. So, red team. I end up showing 2 that were, you know, a little bit more flexible. However, you know what team we're running. I still want to show it because, you know, we run it for literally everything. But, you know what one we're going for. Except without the Stellarix, we're going for, of course, Flower Dragon these days. I don't know, I haven't really been using Stellarix that much. In this situation, it would be fine to use Stellarix. Actually, for the earlier battles, it would actually be slightly better to use Stellarix. You know what? We will use Stellarix. Wait, wrong event, though. Where is the Castle in the Sky event, or whatever it's called? Yeah, this one. Okay. Let me go get our event shop thingies. And we're good to go. Of course, you want to get 1 copy of the Sand Guy. If you didn't get the summer armor from last year, get that. 6 copies of the pet, which is 700 total. 5 to get the initial one max, 1 to get the golden version. And if you want, 800 for the power orb as well. So hello everyone, I didn't even get to chat. Hello everyone. Welcome. Hope all you guys been doing well. Hello, yeah. Hello, Stacy. Hello, Lesta. Hello, Cookie. Hello, everyone else. Welcome. When are we doing the Stellar Blade stream? Haven't heard that game. Sounds like an RPG of some kind. If we go for this, I could actually get rid of Wand of Stars for something else if I really want to. Also, this was before we had the Submerge week. Let me go get Mech, so we don't have to deal with it. Alright, that should be fine. I don't think I need to change anything else here. Looks fine. For earlier fights, this should be all we need. Also, hello, Tyrion! Welcome. Do I think the Holiday Legendary Troop is any good? No. Both the Mythic and the new Holiday Troop aren't that good. They're both the 2 troops that basically came out today. The Mythic has an issue of its ability just not being good enough. Though its traits are pretty nice, its ability is just really lackluster. And the biggest issue with the new Legend that came out today is it's skilled really heavily towards early game. All of its gains are very static numbers. And those static numbers are only particularly good earlier on in the game. Whereas later in the game, they are very, very bad. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of really good holiday event options lately. So I'm really surprised that this holiday event is pretty bad. Like, it's the worst one we've had in the last, like, half a year, maybe a little longer. Because they were doing so good for them for a while. But, yeah, this one's pretty bad. Unless they, like, just started the game within the last few weeks or something. In that situation, it's probably scaled nicely. But it gets way too outscaled this late in the game. He doesn't have any boost ratio, or at least no boost ratio that really scale up. Everything it has is pretty static. Like how strong it is when you get it in early game is as strong as it stays forever. Which falls off very quickly. Also, initially, before I did the video, I thought his ability worked on the entire team, and I was like, okay, that's not that bad. But when I was actually doing the video itself, I didn't realize, or, you know, I did, like, midway through the video, that no, his ability only affects himself. Which makes him even worse. Because that really big HP armor and attacking that he does only applies to himself, not the whole team. Alright, there we go. That's all the battles we need for today. Nothing we need to spend it on because we'll probably save for the sandcastle guy. Though I highly doubt we're going to be using him for much though. But yeah, he just deals some damage to a single enemy at a pretty low number. Boosted by yellow and brown at a decent ratio, but it's static how much you could ever get on the board. Then gains 10 to all skills if it gets a kill, triple if it gets, or sorry, 10 to all skills just normally. And if it gets a kill, just triple that amount. No extra turn follow-up, no gem creation. And it gains a bunch of attack life and armor every time it takes an extra turn for itself, by having 50% reduction. Yeah, it's a good like first few week troop if you happen to get it early. You wouldn't use it much beyond that though. It just doesn't scale high enough. Especially later in the game. Like you'll cast them like 3 times, it might not even one-shot something. Alright, so, next order of business. Oh yeah, I don't have my codes open. Let me go do that real quick. Where's the code section at? Code. Codes. Alright, boom. Oh yeah, we're still in the previous month's code. Oh, so hello, Chris. Welcome. Hope all's been well. And here you guys go. There's the first redeem code. Enjoy, everyone. Alright, next order of business. Let's go do raids. Raid Shadow Legend. No. Alright, Piskia is way overkill. For the earlier fights, I might need to go change my team here. Because this team is so exceedingly overkill for the earlier battles. So much so, I think I just put Aquaticus there or something. I think I do like a 3rd slot Aquaticus build. At least for the really early fights. Like something like this. Alright, there we go. I do need to change the banner too if we're going to be doing this. Let me go minus red and go whatever blue banner we have. Which is probably something like this. Blue-green. Sounds fine. Let's roll with that. I don't think we need to change anything else here. Yeah, for the early fights, we'll run this. We will be switching later. But for all that we need for now, this should be adequate. Hello, Mulu! Yeah, we started a little bit late today. I was finishing up eating and didn't realize it was already that late. But yeah, we'll be streaming a lot this week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Every day of Guild War, like we always do. I'm curious to see how Guild Wars will go this time around. It's the first Guild War in the new format that we're allowed to use any weapon on. Though it is also probably one of the weirdest restrictions as far as any we've had before. Because Dwarf probably has the least consistent main damage source of any category we've had up to this point. Not that it lacks any damage source, but more so it's just the most inconsistent we've had up to this point. Not counting hero weapon. But if you're running like an actual Dwarf as your damage source, it's the most inconsistent damage source we've had up to this point. Because Centaurs had Worldbreaker, Broken Spire had Infernus, and that one Elemental Dragon thing. What's our Guild War rank? Rank 22. So overall as a guild, surprisingly, we've actually been doing okay. Because rank started based on trophies, and we were 30th in trophy. And currently we're 22 in guild rank. Which means, yeah, we've actually been doing better than average. The easiest way to tell is your guild higher or lower than how many trophies you have? Like relative to your trophy rank. Because if the current Guild War rank is higher than your current trophy rank, then you've been, as a guild, doing decent in Guild War. But yeah, we're up 8 ranks compared to our trophy rank. Overall, it's been matchmaking us with some pretty easy guilds, though. Like, we've had a couple harder Guild War days. But we're still 100% win rate in the new format. We'll see if we ruin that this time around. You know, not as a guild, but personally, we're 100% win rate in the new format. You know, one thing I wish they would change with Aquaticus's ability? I know they're never going to. But I wish he exploded half the blue gems on the board and all submerged gems. Just to make sure that she would guarantee get all the submerged gems. It would make sense given her mechanic and how submerged heavy she is. This ability obviously came out before submerged gems came out this season. And I wish I would update this to also explode all submerged gems, because right now it's not guaranteed. It'd be nice if they made it guaranteed on her. It won't be relevant too much after this week. Because I highly doubt too many people will be using submerged gem mechanic after this week expires and we don't get it from Sky anymore. I wouldn't say submerged gem's been the most annoying one, though. I feel like it was less annoying than lycanthropy. Mostly because it was a positive effect for the enemy rather than a negative effect for yourself, which was a lot easier to deal with. It's a lot harder to put cleanse onto your team than it is to dispel the enemy team. Mostly due to so many hero classes basically coming with a free dispel. Whereas unless you run Wand of Stars or go out of your way, you kind of have to like go one troop out of your way to put cleanse on your team. Unless you're running Wand of Stars. Or like Beatrix or something. But outside team comps like that, it's a little bit harder to put cleanse on your team. Whereas it's really, really free to put dispel on your team. You just have to trade out your hero class for it. You heard we're getting a new boss troop soon? Are we? Like one of the 8 power orb ones? That'd be kind of cool if we do. I wouldn't be surprised. It's been a very long time. It's been so long that we haven't gotten one since Season 1 of campaigns. We're in Season 24. And I would say that would be 2 years, but no, it's actually longer than 2 years. Because a campaign is basically 11 weeks. So what's 23 times 11? Calculator, where are you? I don't have one open. Calculator. What's 23 times 11? That's how many weeks it's been, right? So now you times that by 7. It has been 1,771 days. Has it really been that long? I guess so, because you know when it started? It started, I know exactly when it started. I don't even need to divide this number. It started Season 1 of Fall Guys. Like the September after that. Which means it started September of 2020. So yeah, it's been 5.5 years then. Well, not 5.5, 4.5 years. Yeah, and if we divide that by 365, yep, 4.8 years. Yeah, we're almost at the 5-year mark. But yeah, September of this year would be the 5-year mark of the last time we've gotten a campaign mythic. I mean, a power orb mythic. Because it was Karandira from Season 1 of campaigns. We're at 23, moving on to 24 4th campaign. So what on earth ever happened to Fall Guys? That is one game that I would definitely say has fallen off. Like ever since Epic ended up buying them out, they've just kind of gone downhill. I personally stopped playing once they made it into a sandbox game. Yeah, I did see it a while back. If it's the troop I saw before, it is the strongest troop to ever exist in the game. Despite that, it is probably not going to get used that often. Like, from what I last saw from it, it makes Zolgoth look like it's nothing. However, due to how slow it insta-kills, there are still a lot of battles where you're never going to use it, even though it's your strongest troop in the entire game if it's going to be released like that. I'm pretty sure they're going to nerf it a little before it gets released. Because from what I've seen from it, it is very, very, very broken. But ironically, not going to be used a lot. For Underworld, it would be in a few other locations. But anywheres where you want to kill everything quickly simultaneously, you would probably never use it. But it would be good in Underworld and would be good in a few other niche situations. It's kind of sad that we've gotten to the point where insta-kill is almost bad. Because every insta-kill is generally only one enemy at a time. Which, given how strong it is to hit all 4 enemies at once, is actually not that good these days, surprisingly. Even if it's like absurdly broken version of it. Which from what I've seen looks like is the way it's going to be. Oh, they could have changed it. We looked at it on the spoiler thing on stream about a month or 2 ago. There's a good chance they tweaked it down a little because it was so broken before. Like, it's probably going to be strong, but I don't think they're going to make it that strong. Because that was a bit ridiculous how strong they had it before. When did Getherics come out? That's a good question. I don't remember. I want to say 2019 or 2018. Because it had to be after Soulforge. And Soulforge was like, what, 2017, 2018? And Getherics had to have been at least a year or 2 later. So it was either 2018 or 2019 for it. Like, there was a point where they were doing them about once a year. But after 2020, they kind of stopped. The problem with mana potions is it's going to give you infinite mana for your entire team per cast, while also having insta-kill. The thing that's going to make it slow is, do you know how long it takes for the board to resolve 12 mana gems? Because not only are you going to mash trigger a bunch of potions, but then after those potions trigger, you're going to mash trigger a bunch of potions. Then you got to wait for that cascade. And then you might have to take a little bit more mana to go and insta-kill with him if you didn't already get max mana, though you probably already got max mana on him. And then you cast it again and wait for the delay again. Like, it's so broken beyond belief, but it's actually relatively slow when you break it down how long it'll actually take to win. Like, it's infinite loop into himself to auto insta-kill the entire enemy team once you get full mana. Like, you basically get him the full mana and you just auto win the battle. But he's not that quick, surprisingly. Like, on paper he is, in practice he's not going to be that good. Even though he has infinite loop insta-kill. Which is actually sad how much the game is power crept. That's not considered, like, absurdly broken. It is still broken, don't get me wrong. Like, compared to Iron Gut, you'd probably actually use it over Iron Gut a lot of times. Because if you don't specifically need the attack value on Iron Gut, it's basically the stronger Iron Gut. But the small chance that it might miss, unlike Iron Gut, that never will. At least from an extra turn perspective, unless it's frozen. I guess that is one liability with him too. If anything on your team is frozen, that's kind of not ideal. Because he gets to offer all those potion gems, all of his extra turns. So if you're frozen on like 2 colors, that could interfere with him pretty heavily. Even more if you're frozen on more. That won't generally happen in the areas that you're going to be using him though. Which are mostly like high-level Underworld. Maybe high-level Explore if you lack other options, stuff like that. Like, you're only going to bring him out when you really need the hefty insta-kill troops. Like, wherever you're currently bringing out, like, Zolgoth, Iron Gut, Getherics is where you'd bring out him. Well, a lot of times you wouldn't be using insta-kill troops in PvP-like situations. Because they're a pretty huge liability. Not just because they count as a boss and can be one-shotted, but also just their really high mana cost to get rolling. Yeah, mana potion in PvPs, the biggest issue with it is it slows things down a lot. Especially when you have a storm of mana potion. I'm still surprised they haven't toned down mana potion storm yet. It seems really, really over the top. Luckily, there's no troop that creates it. But it can occur in PvP under that one effect. Hello, Defiant! Welcome, welcome. Hope all's been well. Oops, I ran out of gems. I ran out of blue gems. It's really bad for this team. I have 3 different things. I just realized there's one slight issue with this team if they have a way to deny blue. I have 3 different things on this team that all explode blue. That is very problematic if the board runs out of blue. Exceedingly problematic. Luckily that guy creates 4 submerged gems. A mechanic I didn't think would be that relevant, but it actually is extremely relevant with this team. Especially when the board has that few. Yeah, explode blue, and explode blue, or half the blues. Yeah, it's slightly problematic when there's no blue. Whoops. Oh yeah, you know what I had for dungeon the last 2 days? Triple bottom 2 days in a row. Which is really unfortunate because we always go triple top. It's hello Imperial! Welcome, welcome. I should have taken that green first so we're not blocking. Alright, we're starting to get slowly to the point where I kind of need Piskia. I was originally going to be in the team, but I switched it out because this is quicker early on. But originally we were going to run Piskia instead of Aquaticus as our main damage. For today, we'll stick with this, though. Later in the week, we're definitely going to need to switch to Piskia, though. Oh, did we just get a double life drain? Nice. Azura, or Aquera, I mean, ends up reducing magic. I mean HP. It reduces a random stat on the opposing team. So that means there's a 1 in 4 chance it can get HP. So he's got a 1 in 16 chance it would get double HP roll. Not too bad. Alright, final battle if we don't get a Valhawk here. Oh, we do get a Valhawk, nice. I just need a Pokemon anything. Do we have an anything? I don't think so. Unless we get HP? No, can't get that lucky again. We'll get off the Cascade, though. And a treasure map from how big the Cascade was. Alright, now we're on the final 2 fights. Also, it feels weird because we need both red kills and brown kills right now. So there's like so many troops that are highlighted because there's 2 different events going on that we need kills for. We need red kills for the current... Oh wait, no we don't. Never mind. That's just during the event itself. Never mind. We don't need red kills this week. We just need brown. Is the one event is to kill brown, the other one you just have to use a red team. Come on, a little bit more mana. We're almost there. Alright, final fight, unless we get a Valhawk here. Oh, we should be pretty close to be able to try the new Mythic. I think we'll still have to kill whatever the one... Oh, yeah, I did still need red kills. You know what I was thinking of? I think my current campaign task today is to kill red. I think that's why I thought I need to kill reds, because I actually do need to kill reds. Let me go double check. No, it was blue, actually. But yeah, I gotta kill brown and blue. Blue for this, and brown for the one that everyone needs to do for this little thingy over here. Which eventually gives you the final copy of the pet that you need to go max it out. Oh, there we go. Anyways, let's go ahead and another code. Another objective done. Now, what else do we still have? We just have PvP and Underworld, I believe, at this point. Not counting messing with the new Mythic. What's this one? Doesn't this do all 3 daily battles in this? Okay, we'll go do this real quick. Well, these rewards aren't that good, but we'll do it for the XP booster, I guess. It's not gonna take that long to go grab them. I just feel so bad taking this trait stone one, though. For 8 minor blue trait stones, that's it. Or less, or whatever the lowest one is called. I don't even remember because trait stones are so irrelevant this late in the game. Though the smaller one is better than the second smallest one, oddly enough. Because you need a ton of these for some things. Whereas the second smallest one, you actually don't need nearly as much of relative to how many you get. Whereas this one, because it's the most common one, they really overinflated how many you need for some things. More so than its actual drop rate. Yeah, after this we'll go to PvP and then go see how close we are to testing the new Mythic. I don't plan to do a video on him. I haven't really been with a lot of campaign Mythics lately. The main reason for it, well, for one, they're kind of money locked initially. So a lot less people have it in general. But the other reason is they've just been really bad. Like the last year or so, year and a half. I'm not sure why, but they've been on such a useless streak on campaign Mythics. Where you're pretty much never going to use them, or maybe use them once in a very niche team for a very niche event week. And that's about it. The only other thing here is to go do PvP, but we're going to be heading there probably right now. I just want to just kill a bunch of blue, which will easily get done during PvP dailies. Let's go down another code, and let's go do PvP dailies. So hello, Outlander! Welcome, welcome. There you guys go. Enjoy. So we're getting really close to the 100,000 gem milestone. Alright, so everything's not touched yet. Season goals. Oh, I didn't claim this earlier. Let's go gamble them. See if we get anything. How many do we have? 4. Anything good? Nothing. Nothing, but slightly shinier. A 50 roll, but it's on a bad immortal. And a 10 roll, also on a bad immortal. That could have gone a little better. At least we rolled 50 on one. I don't think that was enough for an upgrade anywhere. Oh, we do have a couple waiting, though. Grab all the upgrade for the season guy. And grab them for... oh yeah, we ended up getting 10 free copies of this the other week. For whatever that sweepstakes thing they were doing. If they reached like a certain amount of contribution, they just gave 10 to everyone, even if you didn't sign up for it. If you're wondering what that 10 was the other week for him. But yeah, the 10 that we got from that was actually enough to get an upgrade. That's kind of funny. Obviously not just the 10, but in combination with what we already had. Is enough to get one. You can tell because he's at 0 now. So we had exact enough from that 10. Well, I guess that 10 did help us overall. He's not really that good of one, though. The biggest issue with ones like this is they're used in the center area. The problem with the center area is the whole gimmick with these immortals is they're allowed to be used in any restriction relative to their area. But in center, you're already allowed to use everything. So unless they make the central spiral ones like absurdly good, you're never going to use them because you're already allowed to use everything. So it's missing one of the core mechanics that makes immortals good to begin with, and that they can be used regardless what the restriction is. But middle already allows you to use everything regardless what the restriction is because there is no restriction. Also, I still don't have Immortal Gemini from last PvP season, by the way. I even have the one from this season as far as the harder annoying one to get. I still don't have Immortal Gemini from last season. I'm not sure why we're going so dry on it. There's only like 19 rolls it could do, and it still has not rolled Immortal Gemini yet. In all of this season and all of last season. Really unlucky. Oh, we got one more rank. Wait. We got one more roll. Did we get anything? Nope. Probably one of the worst wards, if not the worst. At least the PvP rating can save a little bit of time. Silver marks do nothing. Alright, let's go get our boost and just clear out PvP daily real quick. Oh, that's not my boost. Yeah, it is. Never mind. There we go. So I'm not sure how. I feel like I chipped one of my teeth earlier today when I was eating lunch. I was having chips with a sandwich, and I bit down on the chip in like the weirdest way possible. And I'm almost guarantee I have like chipped a tooth. I don't know. I'll find out when I go to the dentist later. I think that's in like 2 months from now, the checkup thing. Actually, I need to go double check. I think that's pretty soon. It's either sometime in July or sometime in August. I have like all my checkups for the year for everything. Oh, nice, Outlander. Huge congrats. Oh, yeah, that does remind me. The guild still has one spot left, by the way, if anyone wants to join. I'm not sure if you'll be able to partake in next Guild War or not. I forget how new Guild War format works, if you can actually get someone in today or not. Because technically Guild Wars hasn't started. So I'm not sure. Yeah, we still have one spot left. Oh, no, never mind. I lied. We did fill it out. Never mind. Isabel got it earlier. Good job, Isabel. Yeah, there you are. Wait, Outlander, were you the 30th? Nice. You might be because you're all the way down here. But huge congrats. But never mind. I lied. We have 30. I thought Outlander was the 29th, not the 30th. But never mind. Outlander was the 30th. Alright. Oh, we did that. Where am I going? PvP. All I did was get the booster. Still need to go do all the other things with it. Which is Elf Restriction or Wild Folk. I'm probably going to take Elf just because we're allowed to use Immortal What's-Her-Name. And Immortal What's-Her-Name with how upgraded we have her is really, really solid. So let me just grab her real quick. Grab you. Immortal Glacia. What do we want for the rest of the team? Probably just mana. Give me some green. Give me some sacrifice. Oh no, are we just going all in? Problem is, Yasmin doesn't feed into it though. Yellow does. Oh no, you're denying yellow. Alright, we can make this work. Princess Elspeth into... I just need any pure color troop. Where all the commons at? Do it by base rarity. Alright, we could do green, purple. Do any of you have like mana link or anything cool? No. Alright, so we have to do purple then. And we just go Wand of Stars. And then we can go Archmages. And we should be good to go. I'll go double banner as well. Banner, double purple. Let's go purple blue. We can sacrifice a little as well. Let's do purple plus 1 blue, minus 1 red. Oh, I want the other way around. Minus 1 green, sure. Let's roll that. So what we're going to do is use Elspeth on the Spider Knight, instantly kill it, get a bunch of purple. We are doing a 1 damage source team, which is not ideal, but should be fine. Though with this board, I'm not even going to need it. I know, a miss. There's one problem with it. There's one of the reasons she's not really used that much these days. Not that consistent. Pretty much ever since Leprechaun, she kind of stopped getting used. Which was, I think, like 2017 when Leprechaun was added. Pretty much ever since Leprechaun, Elspeth has been pretty dead. Unless you're in a restriction where you have to use her like this. Because you can just really heavily miss like that, which is really bad. Whereas Leprechaun always gains some amount of guarantee value. Even if it misses really hard, you're still getting some guarantee value. Whereas you can cast her and get literally nothing if you get unlucky enough. You just give the enemy a bunch of 5 times gems. So thank you, Jason, for the continued support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 5 years as well. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Hello, Jason. Welcome, welcome, welcome. They still can't believe we've been doing Gems of War for like over 10 years now. It's kind of crazy. Oh, so that does remind me too. Don't forget, we have like 1 billion dailies we got to do now. The summer one you have to do every single day in order to get the full reward. And Guild Wars is also an event you have to do daily now as well. When it comes in this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You also got to remember to set your defend team on Wednesday. It used to be every Monday that you had to set defend team, but now it's on Wednesday. Yeah, it really doesn't feel like it's been that long. I don't know, my entire adult life felt like it has gone by like so quick. Compared to how slow school went. Not that I hated school, I actually enjoyed school quite a bit. Because I've been an adult now for what, 12 years, going on to 13? And that's about how long all schooling is. Because you go through 12 years of grades and then like kindergarten and preschool. So it's like 14 years. And I've been an adult for soon to be 13 years. So they're almost the same number now. Yet even in a year from now when it's actually reached that number, it still feels like school took like 2 times longer than my entire adult life up to this point. Oh, so why are we doing so bad this battle? Alright, there we go. Now we just have to do the middle daily thingy since we didn't have any battles to do yesterday. Let's take the higher rated one. University made you end up feeling younger. Oh no, I didn't really socialize much in university. I did do it for a couple years, but I don't know, I kind of just came in, did what I needed to do, and got out. It didn't even really feel like school in any way. Because oddly enough, it was actually easier than my high school. Mostly because I had like a public academy kind of thing. You didn't have to pay to get there, but you did have to have pretty decent grades. And the academy I went to for my final 2 years of high school was actually harder than the college I went to. I did only go for associate's degree though. I didn't go for like bachelor's or anything else. Mostly because it would have been way too expensive. That's one thing I've always made sure to do that I've done pretty good at so far, is never get into debt. I want to try to never do that. Not even for a car. At absolute most, I would maybe do it at some point for a house. But I likely wouldn't need to. The house is like maybe the one and only thing I would go into debt for. Just because renting would be so much more expensive in the long term. It would have to be when the housing market is down though. It is way too up right now. I think we got the 3 daily thingy we needed. We're actually just getting the rest of the glory we need for the daily. The other daily. Yeah, when I was in college is actually when I worked the most, oddly enough. Because I was still doing some online things. I was doing flea marketing, stuff like that, while still doing like above full-time college. Like I think I was taking like 6 or 7 classes at some point, whereas full-time I think was considered 5 classes at once. But there were some what are they called? I was gonna say seasons. A semester was the word I'm looking for. I knew it began with S, but there were some semesters I was taking as many as like 6 or 7 classes at once. That should be everything we need. Valhawks, check. PvP goals, we'll worry about that later in the week. Shouldn't be that hard though, because keep in mind your contribution to Guild Wars counts towards this rank. So make sure to not overshoot, because your Guild War battles do count towards contribution. So make sure you don't overshoot when you do the 5,700 into the 6,500. As it can be very easy to overshoot it with Guild Wars this week. Because that does still give you contribution to that. Just like any other PvP battle does. Let's see if we get anything else from our final 2 burning chests. 20 Immortal Aquaria, that's okay. And a Bronze Icon. Almost the worst drop you can get. Silver is the worst. Or Silver Marks is the worst. Bronze Trophy, Medal, whatever this is. Bronze Icon is the 2nd worst. Silver is 3rd worst. Gold is 4th worst. And Gold Mark is 5th worst. And then of course it goes 10, 20, 50 Immortal. Which is somewhat also based on what Immortal you get, on how good it is. But yeah, that's the 2nd worst. I do place 20 gold marks above gold, gold icon. Gold icon can save you time. But it's not really a resource unless you claim it for a leaderboard. If you claim it for a leaderboard, then it's fine. Like the amount of loot that you get from it, in theory. But if you're just claiming it for like PvP points, it's worse than gold mark, 20 gold mark. It's only really worthwhile if you can snipe leaderboard for these. Because then it's worth it. Anyways, what are we doing? Let's go ahead and add a code, and I think the only thing left other than mess with new Mythic, do we have it yet? No. Surprisingly, we don't. So I guess we'll go do Underworld, and then we'll go mess with new Mythic. And save it for last, then. Here you guys go. Here's a redeem code. One thing I will go do real quick. I wanted to check to see if this achievement works. Have any of you guys been getting the new achievement that came out in the most recent patch? So you should only need to claim 2 of these in this full completion to get it. So for everyone that click this, there should be a thing in the corner that says we've gotten it. If it's working correctly. I don't see it. Oh no, is it working for anyone else? Maybe I need to claim all 3. Because there was this new achievement that came in the most recent patch. The Taken to Task. Fully complete 2 campaign tasks in a single campaign. Fully completed? Fully completed. But yeah, did anyone get the trigger for this yet? The Taken to Task one? Because I just did it and it did not trigger. If I'm reading this correctly, that's my understanding of it. Fully complete 2 campaign tasks in a single campaign. This is campaign. This is a campaign task fully completed. This is a campaign task fully completed. But yeah, it didn't trigger. Oh, it's being fixed for 8.6? Okay. Yeah, so it is still broken. I had a feeling it was, I just wasn't sure. Didn't bother checking the forum. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, because we just triggered it and it didn't trigger. Alright, so they're going to fix that next patch then. Which means at the end of next campaign, you'll be able to go get it. Anyways, so we did that. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, let me go do Underspire. Let me go get Underspire team. I think I need to revamp it a little bit for the earlier fights though. Oh, that's the Guild War team. Underspire. Yeah, we definitely want to build it more into Aquaticus like we did for the other event. So we'll go adjust it once we get there. It should be the last daily, weekly we need to go do. Oh yeah, that and dungeon. Should we go do dungeon real quick? Come on, top 3. Come on, gets the door. Oh no, we didn't get either. Sad. Yeah, let me clear through dungeon real quick. And then we'll go do Underspire. And then we'll go mess with the new Mythic that came out today. Technically came out a week ago, but I'm not sure that many people that really get the bigger pass these days. I saw that Speed Factor. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I had a feeling it was still broken, but I still figured we'd check for the fun of it. But yeah, it's definitely not working. Which means the earliest it'll be doable is at the end of next campaign. In like 11 weeks from now. Because they should be able to get a patch out by then. Because normally they do one in like early, late August. And 11 weeks from now would reach that time. Yeah, that one Merlantis thing that gives a bunch of stats is pretty useful. Did I end up grabbing that? I can't remember if I did. Did I ever get it? I feel like I did. I didn't show it on any teams because I figured a lot of people wouldn't have it. But yeah, this guy's pretty good. He gives a bunch of magic to all merfolk allies. However, if you didn't pick him up from the previous... oh! I forgot to mention... Oh, no! In the video today, I forgot to mention him as not in drop table. That I did forget to do. Because he's not in event key drop table. You cannot get this guy in event key drop table. But he's from the last PvP thingy. You're able to get him for 800 or 1,000, whatever it was, silver marks. But, yeah, he gives a bunch of merfolk allies 2 magic whenever you take an extra turn. One to a few weeks, he's actually usable. He also creates Blue Storm. Which surprisingly, Merlantis does not have a particularly high amount of ways of doing. So not only does he have Blue Storm, but he also has Magic Gain, and he even gets to shuffle the enemy team. It's honestly not that bad. He has no follow-up, so you only really want to use his ability like about once. But, yeah, it's not bad. And he gains a lot of extra magic for your team. But yeah, he's not in event queue drop table, and I didn't want to show a team for it just because, A lot of people probably don't have him, and there's no way to get him if you don't currently have him. He will be available in the future, but he's not currently available now if you didn't already get him. He will eventually rotate in Soul Forge and stuff like that. Also, all those troops that do show up in Soul Forge, I don't think a single one has rotated yet. They should be pretty soon. They just fall in at a really weird cycle for the thing. They also have a really high delay on them. Like a 3-month or half a year delay or whatever it is. They made their delay really high to make it more enticing to actually get it through PvP. Even though the gold marks one are never worth getting through PvP. The silver mark ones are fine to get. Because there's just nothing else to really dump silver marks in. Did I finish out dungeon? I did. Okay, let me go finish out the other event we haven't even started. Oh yeah, I already grabbed a team. What am I doing? We were just talking about it. I'm just buy, wait, let me go buy our torches we need. I wonder if I'm going to do a mid completion. This week doesn't have a particularly good amount of damage. Or mana. I say that. We do a Piskia. I don't know. Problem with Piskia is what if they have immune to Devour? Because we don't really have a good way to curse them. And on any team that has immune to Devour, this team is going to struggle really hard. For the earlier fights, I think we're just running this with... this place has no Empower, right? I don't believe it does. Yeah, it's one thing that's annoyingly missing from here. But yeah, I guess I could just give it the extra magic then. I don't see why not. We'll run it. Run it for its magic. Anything else we need? Is there anything that can kill quicker than this? Like replace out Azura for even more mana link or something? Really wish this thing had Empower. This would have been a perfect opportunity to add Empower to this kingdom. Alright, do we need anything else? Banner change if we're gonna run it like this. Minus red and the blue. Blue-green, sure. Those are both colors we need. Yeah, let's run it this way. Seems fine. I think we'd change anything else. But yeah, this is definitely not going to be a full completion week. We're just going to get through floor 4. Because these final 2 floors are going to be really slow if you try going for full. We'll just claim our double silver on Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, 3 Graves plus Azura is pretty nice for mana accumulation. It's the main mana accumulation setup for this kingdom, given that it doesn't have Empower or anything else. So doing that with your best 2 damage sources are generally the way to go.
Mana surge. Mana surge. Mana surge. Mana surge.
I think even on the low rarity team I end up doing that, since they're both in Soul Forge and everything. Or, you know, this one you get for free and this you use from the Soul Forge. This you just get from completing out the kingdom. Because as long as you have this, you have infinite resummon, you have a lot of mana accumulation, you have Dispel, then it really just comes down to feeding your damage sources on your team. What's kind of crazy is this kingdom doesn't even have a 50% mana start. It is really struggling for mana accumulation. Once it gets off the ground, it's fine between these two. But until then, it's kind of sketchy. It's also kind of bad because they both explode blue. Which means if the enemy somehow denies your blue, you're in trouble. Or if you take too much of your own blue. Wait, does this place have 50% merfolk? Wait. What trip was that again? Why did I forget about this thing existing? There are a few 50% that aren't used that often. I sometimes forget exist. Wait, does Merfolk actually have 50%? I could have sworn it didn't. That's his problem with building teams when tired. Am I going crazy? I could have sworn they don't have one. No, 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 no. Oh yeah, this newer guy. Trayton does. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's worth it over Azura because they both have mana conflict with each other. This is worth it though. Alright, there we go. I fixed the team. Yeah, I forgot about this guy. This guy's actually relatively new. He came in the last year, I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty sure the last time we had something Merlantis related. But yeah, he's actually a relatively recent addition. Might have been 2 years ago, actually. He's definitely on the more recent side, though. So hello, Rob. Welcome, welcome. Actually, he's recent enough that he might be the most recent 50% mana star added to the game. Either the most recent or second most recent. Hey, I forgot about him. But yeah, you don't want to replace your Azura with him. But if you have room to run both, then yeah, it's perfectly fine to run both. I don't think it's worth replacing Azura to put him on though. But if you have room for both can work. Hey, hello, Rob. Welcome, welcome. I've always been well. Aw, we're out of battles already. We just found Dead End City over here. We're gonna have to do them all anyways. We've been doing so many perfects on Mondays lately for Zone 1. And this one, we didn't even find the right path. Is it double dead end in the corner? Ah, that's the end of the line for today. At least we got everything in the little dead end here, though. Well, we didn't even get to touch the correct path at all. Let's go ahead and have a final code, and I think it's fun time to go mess with the new Mythic. Here you guys go. Well, actually, behind out one more code after this code. But here you guys go. Alright, let's go mess with the new Mythic. Pretty sure I'm not going to be doing too much with it. We're also not going to be covering a video on it, which is kind of why I want to do a little bit more with it tonight. Because what we're about to do tonight is probably the first and only day we will ever be touching this thing. As even on a Merlantis event week, I'm not sure I would need to use this on a event week like this. Oh, we finally did get magic, by the way. Make sure to claim this before Guild War. Because that's a nice permanent +2 magic for it. Well, not permanent, but, you know, for the duration of this week. So you definitely want to make sure you clear out your campaign tasks before then. They're pretty quick to get done. Alright, let's go mess with this guy. Let me replace out my, I guess my lower rate event week. What do I want to get rid of? I'm not going to be running the faction tomorrow. I'll run over this. Alright, let's see. Let me just do the kingdom first. Probably the easiest way to do this. Build like a pure Merlantis team. So we'll get him. I don't think I need even more Submerge. He is Merfolk, so I guess we'll run the 50% guy then. I kind of want to try running this without Azura. Because everything on the team just kind of ignores the counter anyways. So we get this, and then weapon. And then get a weapon on it. The problem is the mana, the weapon has mana conflict with them. Let's see what other weapons are here. What color are we missing? Just red? I could do Iron Wave. Blue and brown would be fine. I just wish I had a really good explode trip to go with it. Quaticus can explode. I just don't feel like it's a lot since it's only half the blue. Whereas Azure is all the blue. Aquaria, I mean, or whatever the thing is called. Oh, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that should be everything. Blue, and what's the other color we need? I guess blue, yellow, most likely. I don't want to minus red if we could help it here. I guess we will. Oh, I want the other way around, though. So minus brown, then. Because I definitely want the +2 blue, not the +2 yellow. It's either that or green. I guess we'll minus brown. And of course we'll go with the Merfolk Tidecaller Hero class. Let's go test this guy out. This is about the best I think we're going to get. Iron Wave, Aquaticus, Dagonoth, which is the new guy. And the Triton for the 50% mana start for all Merfolk. Which is our entire team is pure Merfolk. Oh, actually I lied. One of these is not a Merfolk. Oh! Aquaticus is not a Merfolk. Well, that's a problem. Well, you know what that means. No, not you. Where's Piskia? Piskia! Alright, there we go. Piskia is in Aquaticus, you're out. Now it's a Merfolk. Now it's pure Merfolk. So it's 4 times Merlantis, 4 times Merfolk now. Let's go test it in PvP. And go grab the copy paste. Where is it? Tidecaller? No, not that one. Put it over top this team. Let's go see how it does. Should be able to hold its own. Oh, that's not where I wanted. This team probably is pure blue, isn't it? Oh no, not because of Iron Wave though. But otherwise, it's pure blue. It's pure blue as far as Underworld is concerned. Since you're allowed to use any color hero weapon. Iron Wave makes it technically not actually pure blue though. Nice, first cast already got Devour. This guy has no board control though, which is kind of unfortunate. And the main thing that's going to make him not worth clicking a lot of times. Nice, he's at a double Devour already. And he's taking Submerge as if that'll do anything at all. And it was kill him out. I know, it's fine. Nothing too crazy. You know what I wished I really would have given it? Just to really finish off his traits. I know they would never do for a trooper like this. I wish they would have given him Stealthy instead of create 1 Submerge gem. And just give him like a really, really hefty spell reduction, like 80% or something. Because that would be so hard to kill from a spell resistant perspective as long as it doesn't get stunned. As you'd have Submerge when you take damage, you'd have Stealthy, and you'd have like 80% spell reduction or something. Put that together with like an ability that gains any amount of durability. And that thing is so unkillable. As long as you have Cleanse. I was pretty lucky because we got the thing that's kind of just blocking his mana all the way in first slot. Come on, Piskia. Nice. Wow, we're at 100% Devour rate with Piskia today. There's 2 30% Devours and it has not missed a single time yet. Getting at least one of them. I do feel like this is more of an Aquaticus team. I mean, more of a Piskia team than anything. Oh, he finally missed, by the way. But yeah, look, the spell-resistant guy didn't even out-spell resist the Piskia. Oh, he is immune to Devour. The rest of his team is immune to Devour. Probably shouldn't be trying to devour them. Oh, he has insta-kill, doesn't he? Oh no, you're not the insta-kill guy. It should be okay. Just gotta find Skull somehow. The only problem is we didn't actually gain that much attack value, did we? Because he was entangled for most of the duration. I'm not sure how we're gonna work around this. The rest of his team is immune to insta-kill. Or at least to Devour specifically. We gotta try to make sure he doesn't get extra turns. Seems like he's stopped for now, which is nice. Alright, we only have 106 attack. That is extremely not good. Yeah, we probably lose here then. I might have to do this for the mana accumulation even though we can't get a Devour off. Alright, we'll take the blue. Oh, so I'm not sure why I'm playing it out. It would be way better just to retreat here. Is that enough damage? It is, barely. We got this. Gotta poke him a billion times before he pokes us twice. But yeah, this is very over. Not sure we're playing it out. I guess for Guild War practice. But no, we definitely lose here. If he didn't have immune to Devour, we'd be fine. This is over. Or if we got some more of the attack value. But yeah, overall, the Mythic is about as meh as you think it would be. It's in the category of tank Mythic that doesn't have a good enough ability to justify how tanky it is. So you basically never use it. There's quite a handful of Mythics in that regard. And is another one for the pile. Which we kind of already knew before we even started messing with them. That's very much the case. He's basically just a Piskia team with extra steps. This guy's doing like nothing. Not to mention, his Jumble's not even guaranteed, which I think is the craziest thing on him. How are you going to release a trip like this and only give him 50% Jumble and not 100%? Like, he's already so bad. Why make him worse? At least make it guaranteed. If we're going to make every aspect that bad on him. Nice! Our first double Devour on Piskia. But yeah, this is literally just a Piskia team with a dead troop on it. It's not really a Daganov team. Oh wait, is this still level 10 with no traits? Oh, I never gave it to him earlier. Oh, this whole time I thought he had that all. That does make him a little bit better, but not much. But yeah, this whole time he hasn't had his spell reduction. Let me go get that for him. My bad. I thought I upgraded him already. I didn't even notice that. Whoops. That could be contributing to how bad he is. But that's not going to save him. I was going to say, I was wondering why he wasn't gaining Submerge constantly. That would be it. Alright, let's go get him his traits and everything real quick. Whoops. But I so immediately put him on the team, I forgot to go and get him upgraded. Alright, there we go. He is technically a full AoE. Let me go get a medal too. We'll give him every possible advantage he can get. Alright, should be good now. Okay, he says upgraded as he could physically be. Now that he has absolutely everything, let's see if he can actually do something. So we gave him 6 extra magic, we leveled him, and he has all of his traits now. This is basically the strongest he's ever gonna get. Hey, he did enough damage to get a kill. He did something. Oh, I thought that was enough damage for a second. It's 105, not 115. Oh, I thought that was like just enough damage. Unfortunately, I read it wrong. Luckily, I caught it before I clicked it, though. I looked at it for like half a second. It's like, ooh, that's enough damage, but no, it's not. But yeah, it's very average. Like with many troops like this, I wish I had any amount of follow-up. Like the fact he doesn't create any submerged gems to go along with it seems kind of weird. He gets to create one per turn, but he has no creation of alpha ability. He doesn't even have any interaction with submerged gems, does he? Well, I guess it's boosted by submerged gem for his damage. His damage is boosted by it. Oh, that's nice. Because now we can do the heavy splash and get the triple. Hey, his Jumbo actually did something. His Jumbo aligned them in a way that we could kill them. Oh, there's the other 50% spell reduction troop. Well, there's a couple of them. The other really relevant one. Reduce damage by 50% while having an armor gain. But Tina 9000 is honestly just a better version of him, just without Submerge. Tina 9000 is just stronger Dagonoff. Just without Submerge, but gaining her armor gain instead. I guess it also doesn't have the Jumble. But Jumble does very little in the current state of the game. Because unless you're running a skull-oriented team, you generally don't really care too much about team order. Like, it matters some, but once you have full mana on everything, it doesn't really matter. Because you're generally going to maintain full mana once you have full mana. Oh, we're getting really unlucky on Devour this battle. Come on, Devourer, where are you? Save us, Devourer, save us! Resolve our mana. I'm not even taking skulls. I just need to get this guy to get Devour off. Hey, Submerge actually saved us for once. Alright, final chance. No! You failed us. Alright, let's see. It's time to shine. Nope, it died to the better version of itself. Yeah, this battle's not going to win at this point. Yeah, it died to better version of itself, Tina 9000. But yeah, I don't really see much of a use case for this guy. There's already better damage sources in the area. You're not really going to need that much spell reduction in areas where you would be using a team like this, like 4 times Merfolk, 4 times Merlantis. And a lot of times, if Piskia even gets 1 Devour, it is tankier than your Dagonoff. After just 1 singular Devour. Of course, it needs to get that Devour. But once it does, it's basically tankier. Like, it doesn't have any spell reduction, but it has 30% score reduction. Still has Submerge when it takes damage. Because the biggest thing holding him back, other than no extra turn, is yeah, he just has no way to gain durability. Unless you like use another troop for it, of course. That's why am I doing that? I forgot you have immune. There we go. But yeah, overall final verdict is pretty much the initial verdict. It's just kind of useless tank mythic that, you know, it's not like pointless, but I don't really see an instance where you're putting it on your team relative to what the other options are. Like this is the week you would be using it, and even on this week, you're not even using it because you're gonna get more insta kill value from Piskia, even if it misses a couple times, as long as the enemy team doesn't have immune to it. Aquaticus has mana accumulation while also having more overall damage. As if you count up all the splash damage you're doing, it's basically the exact same amount of damage that Daganov is doing, but without the extra turn potential and mana accumulation aspect of it. And she's still pretty spell reduction heavy too. It's not 50%, but she's still 25% with Submerge to all. Whereas it's 50% with Submerge only to itself in multiple ways. I guess it does have the blue gem creation, but that's it. But Aquaticus basically does his role better in almost every way other than just a little bit less spell reduction. And Undyne is worse. Like if you had to choose one damage source, Daganov is better. The only thing that's really good about Undyne is the 4x silence to blue is pretty solid. But yeah, it's basically the worst mythic here. And for most teams, Aquaticus just does what it needs to do better. Interesting. But anyways, one less code. Is there anything else we still got to do? But that's the new mythic for the current campaign. Still 1 week to go and get it and everything if you want to get it. But it is, like many campaign mythics recently, pretty lackluster. And on an event week where you think you would actually end up needing it, it isn't really that needed. It could potentially be your best mythic though, if you're missing the other ones. But both Piskia and Aquaticus are both better than it. Do I need this pet? I don't think so. No, we're good to go. Raid, we already finished out. Let's make sure we got everything. Castle in the Sky, don't forget to do this every day for the next 2 weeks. Really important one because you do lose value if you don't. Same as the upcoming Guild Wars. But if anyone has any questions, let me know. Otherwise, yeah, I guess you guys will see me for when Guild Wars starts in 2 days and 5 hours. We'll be doing that 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day for its duration. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And of course, Monday we'll be doing the following week stream. Which that week should be pretty tame. Because other than the summer event still going on, there isn't that much happening next week. Since it's the in-between week between the campaigns. There's definitely not going to be update then. It would be way too early. But yeah, don't forget to go if you're a guild leader or somewhere's high up rank. Don't forget to go choose your guild peak. Generally, you want either green or blue for your location. Personally, I think green is overall better. The effect is a little bit worse than freeze, but Tanko is still pretty good this week because there's a lot of Doomskull related dwarves. And of course, the restriction is dwarf. Hopefully you picked up your 50% mana start from the other week. I'm not sure what the Immortal is. Does anyone actually know what the shiny troop is for this season? I'm pretty sure it is Highforge, which is actually not bad. Does anyone know if it's actually mentioned anywhere? I want to go check if it mentions it here potentially. But has anyone actually seen confirmed spoiler anywhere what troop it is? Because in game it doesn't show anywheres. I'm not seeing it here. Let me go troops and see if I can control find it. What's his name called again? Highforge or something? High Cleric, High King Iron Gut, High Paladin, Highforge. Yeah, it doesn't have shiny info here. Okay, it is shiny King Highforge. Okay, so this page just isn't updated then. I had to guess they're probably doing the same thing that they did for the Centaur, where the Centaur went from like a 6 boost ratio or whatever it had up to a 9. But yeah, I think this is going from a 6 to 9 as well. Which actually quite a bit because they're both a double hit troop. So in the case of this, which you're always using in a 4x dwarf team basically because the 50% mana start. How much damage is that? You're hitting 2 things. You would have 12 total. So you're doing 24 extra damage whenever you cast them. It's not awful. The main thing that's relevant, though, is the 2 higher mana costs. Or 2 lower mana costs, I mean. Is if you were to buy that, I'm not sure if I'm going to bother. But if you were to spend the $5 on that, 2 lower mana costs on them allows you to cast them an extra turn earlier sometimes. Which is nice because these resummon, the stun, everything else that he has. The extra damage that he's going to have from being shinied. But yeah, it makes him a lot more viable, as well as dwarves in general a lot more viable. is he's a core troop that basically has to be on every dwarf team, whereas the one from last season wasn't. Like, you don't have to use Artemo on every Centaur team. However, you are using High Forge on literally every 4 times dwarf team. It is pretty much required due to it being a 50% mana start dwarf. So you're going to get a lot more value from this one than you will from the previous season's one. And honestly, out of any of the 3 so far, honestly, it does seem like the best one of the 3. I don't know, maybe we'll spend the $5 on it. We'll see. It's not that much money. A little pay to win, but given that we are forced to have to use them every battle anyways, I think I might go for it, honestly. I'm not going to spend gems to get it early max, though. But as we naturally get all the copies of it, we'll, you know, get them stronger. But, yeah, I guess we'll go for it. It's just nice to have for dwarf teams in the future. We'll save time overall. When are we going to do the pet code for another day? Oh, no. We handed out last week on Monday. It was the Sharky code. But we handed out last week, didn't we? Pretty sure we did, because it's not my thing anymore. But we handed out that out last Monday. A week ago. Oh, so speaking of codes, I'm going to hand out one more normal code. Here you guys go. Enjoy. And I'm not sure what code we have for next month. Though I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of the 4th of July pets. Because we actually are getting a new 4th of July pet. I think it's actually exactly on 4th of July, oddly enough. The, no, it's on the 2nd, actually. But yeah, that's coming out on the 2nd of July. So that's in 2 weeks from now. Well, 2 weeks and 2 days. Is the next Wednesday new pet. Also, Vault Weekend that weekend. Also, new Mythic that weekend. A lot of things going on that week, actually. Isn't that the start of the next campaign as well? Yeah, it is. Because this week is the downtime of campaign. Wow, that's actually a really busy week. The first week of July. Because on Monday, we have the start of the 24th campaign. Wednesday, we have new pet. Thursday, we have Vault Event and new Mythic. Yeah, it's a really busy start of July. And we'll have the event calendar by that day, hopefully, as well. So we can go over it that Monday. They should have it out by then. I sure hope so. Because that's what the video is going to be on. Well, that and everything else going on. The new campaign and everything. But anyways, guys. Yeah, that'll wrap it up for now. We will be back on Thursday. And yeah, we'll do Guild War every day as we always do. And yeah, I might throw $5 on it just to go get shiny High Forge. Might as well. Honestly, out of all the 3 that they've had so far, this is by far the most useful one. So if there was ever one to do it on, this one is the most useful one so far. As it's just a huge buff to dwarf teams in the future. As it's one of those troops that is basically required on a dwarf team. Unlike other restrictions where you sometimes don't run it, like dragon teams don't need a half 50% mana start to dragon. But dwarf is one of those where the best troops for dwarves aren't strong enough to outweigh how good High Forge is. To the point that you basically always use High Forge on a 4 times dwarf team. It's one of those that you basically have to use. Well, not have to, but you know. Like if you're using a 4 times of that color or that typing, you're using that troop. Whereas quite a few other categories, it's kind of optional. He's not that optional. Hello, Bill. Goodbye, Bill. Welcome, welcome. But anyways, guys, yep, we'll be back on Thursday. Go through Guild War, do all the normal Guild War stuff, and yeah, have some fun with that. And if you guys need some teams, we showed it in the weekly video as well. All the teams for Guild War this week. And remember for your defend teams to not set Wanda Stars or Stellarix on them. You're allowed to use it offensively, but you can't use it defensively, otherwise it gets replaced. We'll probably use some variant of this team. Gimlet, Wanda Stars, High Forge, and one other damage source. The damage source really depends heavily on what the enemy team is. Or what we're going to be doing for a given battle. Keep in mind, you do have access to weapons this time around, so you can run damage source weapon. Like this team ended up running just mana accumulators into a really good weapon. And for a low rarity team, we did somewhat similar again. Keep in mind, if you do run a weapon like this and don't run Wanda Stars, you almost guarantee you want to run Apothecary. Main reason for Apothecary is as cleanse. So you want either Wanda Stars for cleanse or Apothecary for cleanse. You generally won't need both, but you want to have at least one or the other. As there's going to be a lot of stats effects, particularly off elementals and such, that you're going to want to get rid of. So definitely worth it. Also, I did use Rune Priest on all these teams. You could opt for other ones. It still has Barrier on Brown, and the nice thing about Rune Priest is it gives you like 1 or 2 hits of durability. There's actually a lot of durability, especially if the pet's upgraded. You don't get that much beyond durability, but it's guaranteed enough to survive 1 hit, and in a lot of situations, unless it's like insta-kill or devour or something, you're probably surviving 2 extra hits with this much extra durability a lot of times. So it gives you a lot more buffer room to kind of get the team rolling. Also helps with resummons, because I believe your resummons come in with those stats as well. So every resummon you do just becomes a giant wall with how much extra durability ends up gaining. Like when your Gimlet eventually dies or whatever your first thought is, it gets replaced with whatever the High Forge does. And if you add the max shiny, that's only a 13 mana cost for a Dory summon. Though, honestly, it's not that hard to go get it maxed out. If you're using Wand of Stars or Apothecary, you're probably getting them to max pretty easily, regardless if you have them shinied or not. But, that's pretty much the game plan. Team like this, replacing out final damage source depending on what the enemy team is. But this one, using Ghost King Grimhorn because he's generally going to be the best. However, probably going to switch him out throughout the event just to, based on what we need for a given battle. Might even replace out Weapon Sum for something other than Wand of Stars. We'll see as we go. Really comes down to what the enemy team is. Because there might be some times where we can actually replace out Wand of... Like, if they have no status effects at all, like if they're not running Elementalist, they're not running, like, anything at all for status effects, we can replace out Wand of Stars for Ruby Weapon or some other damage source pressuring weapon. It's a huge liability if they have any amount of status effect, though. So if they have even any at all, which they generally will, even if they just have, like, a single Elementalist on the team, we're pretty much going to have to be forced to use Wand of Stars and or Apothecary. But if they don't, then that will leave a little bit more flexibility to what we can run. But we'll have to wait to see what our battles are. Anyways, guys, hope you all have a wonderful week. Don't forget to be keeping up with the red daily for this thingy, so you can get all your rewards for it. And I will catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in Guild Wall.